Here are the top 10 feather shortcuts in Mario Kart World, starting with number 10 on Mario Bros. Circuit, where you can jump this wall and land on this rail near the end of the lap for a faster finish to your race. For number 9, we're on Choco Mountain, where you can drift and use the mini turbo boost, or you can charge jump off the corner of this ramp to ride the wall up onto this platform, trick off this platform, and then use the feather to clear this whole patch of mud. This saves a ton of time, and I like to throw in this little trick off the rail at the end here. Number 8 is on Dino Jungle, where if you trick on this dinosaur at the right time, you can land right on this rail, or you can charge jump onto the rail. Then you're going to right trick just before the last bend in the rail, clip the wall, hold right, use the feather, and do some right tricks to pull off this cut. And at number 7, on Rainbow Road on lap 3, you can charge a charge jump here, release your charge jump and use your feather and down trick to make sure you get enough height to clear this gap. For number 6, we're on Whistlestop Summit, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can use the feather to help you with this crazy ending shortcut. The first way is really easy. You just ride to the end of this rail, right trick, and then use the feather to get on the wall and trick onto this last rail. Or if you try the shortcut the normal way and you fail it, the feather can save you. So here I end up wall riding, so I just let myself detach and then I use the feather to end up on this rail and still make the cut.
Bruh.
Okay. At number 5 on Wario Shipyard, you can use your mini turbo off the track to use the feather and thread the needle between these rocks, making this gap jump. You can also do a charge jump version, which is the same thing. You just charge jump and then use the feather to go between these rocks, right trick off this rail so you still hit the boost panel. For number 4, we're back on Whistlestop Summit, where after this grass shortcut, if you drift hard to the left and then trick off the track, use the feather, you can clear this big gap jump. Here I am doing it the second time for no reason. I thought this one would be out of bounds and Lakitu would grab me, but I tried it in a 3-lap race and it actually works and it was surprisingly consistent. And now we're at the top 3, where at number 3 on Wario Shipyard again, you can trick off this rail, hit the palm tree, and then trick out of the water and use the feather to clear this whole sand patch. This saves a ton of time. At number 2, we're on Desert Hills, and this one is crazy. You want to charge jump onto the wall, trick off this rail early to land on this rail, then trick right off this rail, use the feather, and you don't have to clip the wall, but I did accidentally there. It works either way, and then you can get some extra tricks in the water here. Before we get to number 1, I have a bunch of honorable mentions, starting with this one, where on Bowser's Castle, you can easily take this gap jump just by using the feather. Anytime you can skip the water, you go a lot faster, and that's what we do here on Cheap Falls, where you can use the feather to just skip this corner. You can take the ending shortcut on Dry Bones Burnout with only a feather. If you wall ride here and then trick onto this rail, then you can left trick off this rail, use your feather to ride this wall, detach off the wall, and then do your trick for a speed boost when you land. On DK Pass, I like using the feather at the very end here to cut this section. You just have to be careful that you don't do it too far up the wall or else Lakitu will grab you, but if you do it near the bottom of the wall, then you'll make it. So on DK Spaceport, you can use the feather on all 5 of these sharp turns at the end of the straightaways. It's a little bit tougher on some of them more than others just because the wall divider will go a bit further. Like you'll see on this next one right here. You don't have as much space to take the cut, but you still can. I do prefer it on the turns like this one where the divider doesn't go as far though. For this ending cut, I see a lot of people just clear the boxes, but you can take the turn wide and really sharp and you can take it right over the wall and land almost on the finish line. For this one, you can trick off the side of that little ramp and then use your feather and ride the wall to clear most of this grass. You can also do it with a charge jump, but I think this way is a bit slower than the first way because you end up in the grass for quite a while, and you have a mini turbo here, but it does seem a bit slower than the first one. Here are 2 feather shortcuts on Peach Stadium. For this first one, I swear this rail was put here just for this feather cut. You right trick off of it and use the feather to clear that whole corner. And then for this next one, you can get on this rail without having to take that long alternate path up top. You just drive off the ramp, use your feather, and you land right on this rail. On Shy Guy Bazaar, after this sharp turn, you can use the feather to get up on this rail here that I'd never even been up on before. You can get a couple additional tricks on this rail, then left trick onto another rail, then left trick off that rail, and it's a pretty quick path. Here are 3 more on Starview Peak that are all pretty useful. For this one, you can cut this whole gap with the feather. This next one is a little bit tricky. I couldn't get very consistent at it, but I did do it here with an extra little trick before I used the feather to land on this rail. And then if you land on this solid part of the track, it's faster than being on the water. And this last one, I didn't even know this pillar existed, but here I am tricking off of it. That's actually safe. That's crazy. Here are 2 different ways to do the Salty Speedway feather shortcut. The first way is to drive here, use the feather, and get right up on this rail. Surprisingly, I found this one a little bit finicky. It wasn't perfectly consistent, so I actually prefer to do it this way, where you use the feather and hit this pole, and then get on the rail from there. Make sure you trick across the gap, and then also make sure you trick and hit this pole at the end for a little bit of an extra boost. Here's the last honorable mention, I swear, then we'll get to number 1. It's on Wario Shipyard, and you can just use the feather here to get up on this rail and take this corner really tight. And the best feather shortcut in the game, in my opinion, is on Faraway Oasis, where you can do some rail tricks here, and then as you come out of the water, you can trick and land on this rail, trick right off this rail, aim for this pole, and then you can use the feather in the air to clear this whole section here. This one is a massive time save. Here's another way of doing this shortcut, where you still right trick off this rail and aim for this pole, but this time you go into the water and trick out of the water. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and please subscribe for more Mario Kart World videos just like this one.